It's a new year, new change, 4 tracks. Well, good morning everyone and welcome back to Piccadilly and Happy New Year to you all. And I just want to thank everybody for the comments on the last video, the plans for 2025. And so many of you commented on this being a good idea to do. And so I'm actually quite excited about doing it, quite enthusiastic about doing it. So I thought, well, why not just do it now? I've got another week before I have to go back to school. So it just makes sense to see how much I can get done and take it from there. There were one or two people a little bit concerned about the disruption it would cause. Well, first of all, in this area, you can see the track's ballasted up to there. And to be honest with you, if I need to bend the track anymore, it wouldn't really be too difficult a job to adjust the track. So, you know, to undo the ballast here won't be such a big problem, but it's not ballasted there. And obviously I will need to remove the ballast at the far end, but again, it's not that big a problem. This area at the back here with the tunnels and there, and obviously the mill and all this section here, well, it's going to be minimal in terms of scenery. All this lifts out. All the work is going to be done underneath, so a lot of it won't be affected. The things that will be affected, obviously this tunnel here, because that will need to be heavily modified, but that's one of the first units that I ever put in. The only thing that's going to be affected from more recent work is this unit here, because obviously the lines will continue out the back way and not come out into the main line there. So it might need some modification. I might need to rebuild it. I don't know at the moment. But essentially all of that, including this back scene, this here, comes out. So the only thing that will be in the way is this bridge going over there. So I can have a clear board, and when I've started, you will see exactly that, and it'll just be a case of putting all this lot into storage for a short time until it's done, which hopefully shouldn't take that long, to be honest. Now, my proposal then. It seems daft that I've got 4 lines there, which are fairly well spaced, to be honest with you. They're not too bad. But to take these 2 lines, extend this one out and connect that one to this line. And this line, obviously take that point out. It's a brand new point as it is. That point failed on me last week, or the one that was there. So I had to go out and get a new point. So that's not even glued down yet. So that'll come out really easily. And connect this line to this track. So that hopefully should work. And then once I've got the main line up and running, the only thing I need to do is to put a crossover in there. And then a train can get from this line across, and then straight out going back towards Piccadilly. I hope that makes sense. So there's the first bit in and laid. It's now ready for these weights to be put on, but as you can see, like I said, this line is now connected up to what was the line going back to Manchester, and this one, which was the line going down to London, is now connected to this, as it always was, to be fair. So I've now connected this line to the siding at the end, so all of that will need to be modified at the end there. Well, I've removed all the removable parts, and as you can see, I've got quite a lot of access, and the back scene's been removed as well. It's all and just down here, all of it on the fiddle yard. So you can see now much more clearly what I've got to do. This is obviously platform 14. This line needs to come across and go through the bridge there. So that's 13 at the moment, so that needs to go back slightly. This will come off. It's been glued at the moment, but that will come off with a little bit of persuasion. There you go. This piece of wall was just fascia, so that can be pushed back, and then 13 can come around here. So there's a bit more, well, 13 can come around here. This bit here will need to be removed, and then it can continue down through there. I will take these lines out as I've suggested. I have removed that point, and that is currently sitting there to see about spacings between the tracks, but that should be absolutely fine. Right, I thought I'd better show you what I've been up to, and be warned, it is a bit of a scene of devastation, as you probably expect. So a lot of the track has been lifted now. There are certain bits that still remain, and this odd little bit just there will come out, and probably this bit will come out, so that if I bring, you can see the line of that track, and hopefully if I bring it back up there, you hopefully should be able to see I've cleared a space here now. I've cut this bank back, so that should be plenty of space for this track to come in straight. So there's that. And as I come around the corner here, these 2 points here, this crossover, so this one and this one will have to come out, and this one will have to come out, purely because if you notice the gap between these two tracks here, it kicks out by quite a lot as we get to this point. So this piece of track here represents what the track would be like if it remained parallel, and this piece does kind of represent what could be when the track comes out of platform 14 and it sort of makes its way over to meet the 13 platform track. That one will probably have to move over by about 1/2 inch to give a little bit more space. So when the two tracks come through under the bridge, they'll probably be meeting up against the block, well, the distance against the block. So you can see there's plenty of space for 4 tracks. Having said what I just said there, this block can move back by 1/2 inch, and that should still be okay. Bearing in mind it's still supported on the polystyrene, and I can also cut a tiny bit of this last piece away. These 2 brackets can go. So you hopefully should be able to see from that there should be plenty of space to get the 4 tracks in, and obviously I've cut that part away there, so it's all coming together. Obviously I'm not going to get it all done today. It's going to take a few days, I think, to get this done, but I have got the rest of the holiday to work on it, and so hopefully by the end of the week we should have running trains. Do be aware, for a little while I will leave the scenery completely off. I think that's wise, to make sure there's no running issues and I have to keep removing it all again, and you know what I'm saying. But anyway, I will crack on and I will catch you shortly. Well, the track is down, and what a difference that makes, eh? Look at that. Blimey, 4 lines. And I managed to get another set of points there. Those were the existing points, and that point was already there. So if a train's coming out from Manchester, it will come across here onto this line, which will be bi-directional for this stretch, and then cross over into this line here. And obviously if it's going round and back through Manchester, it'll just carry on through that, and vice versa. Now if a train comes on this line and needs to enter the this line, well, it can't get across here. It would go all the way out here, so along this line where it gets to this point, then comes through here, down through there, and the crossover is just there. So it is possible to get a train from the outside lines through to the inside if need be, and obviously it can work its way out by coming out this way as normal. Okay, anyway, I'll take you round. Now for the eagle-eyed among you, you'll notice there's screws in the track at the moment. Now that's purely because I don't have enough weights to do one bit and then take it up and then do another bit. So I've decided to put screws in for a temporary basis. And there you can see the back end of Piccadilly there. And it does look a bit of a mess at the moment. I will tidy that up. But to be honest with you, once the back scene's gone back in, you won't see it anyway, to be honest. But I will tidy it up. But you can see that goes through there. There's 4 lines. And then obviously, well, you can see there, can't you? So there's no points at this end of the layout anymore, which has been over the years a bit of a bugbear, to be honest. And, you know, the number of times I've had those points up and double slips and all that sort of stuff, single slips, they've all been in this area. And to see it completely clean of points and crossovers is, well, because this has always been the part of the layout where trains would always get stuck. And, you know, so I'm hoping, as long as the trains physically go around it, and obviously I'll be doing extensive tests, and all the scenery, as I've said before, will probably remain off for a little while. I will tidy it up, obviously, but this bridge, and what I'll probably do is make another one of these girder sides to go around that side, and then also that little unit that went in there, that will probably also need some modifications to it as well, because it's got to accommodate 2 lines coming out of Piccadilly from one portal. So obviously that's got to be changed. And then the portal here, I could probably just block that up. But I'll look at that in a bit. Welcome back. Now, it's been a good couple of days since the last clip, and that's because I had a short. And I must say, when I reconfigured all the track, I literally just cut the droppers at trackside and pulled them through. And I also pulled out an amount of wiring from underneath the boards and, you know, tried to reconfigure all of that. So it did take a couple of days to work out where it was. And in the end, it turned out to be that point just there. Now, gratefully, I found it. I found the problem and I was able to sort it. So, you know, all a big relief really, but I'm actually a couple of days behind where I should be at the moment. Now, you'll notice I've got the train or pacer running, and the reason for that is because I'm using it for testing. If there's any dips in the track or any lumps and bumps, the pacer will find it, because it's 2 4-wheel carriages obviously together, and if the carriage dips down, that means one wheel is going to maybe pop the track, as it did around about this point. Now, you'll see the pacer coming round in a few seconds' time, and you can clearly see there are no issues at the moment. But what was happening was the rear carriage was popping a wheel here and coming off this side. So it implied that there was a dip in the track around about here. Now, likewise, if the train pops off that side, it implies that there's a dip in the track, obviously, on that occasion. So what I did was I put a screwdriver under the track and just gave it a little twist, just like that, working my way along. And it's just a case of keep testing, keep testing, keep testing. Now, it is really important to know exactly where the wheel pops off, because it's the part immediately afterwards which is causing the issue. Now, the other thing that I use is these little spirit levels. You can see that this one is perfect in the sense that it's got 2 on there, but all I do is I put it on the track and just work my way around, watching the bubble as I go along, and that will soon tell you if there are any dips or lumps and bumps in the track other than that. But if you've got a train, that will do it for you. Wherever it pops off, whichever side it pops off, there's a dip in the track at that point, or a peak in the track. Sometimes that can work as well. You know, so it's a case of just working your way around. And the track bed wasn't perfect when I started this project, and I wasn't prepared to buy new cork and wait for it to come and all that sort of stuff. So I just took the risk, and sometimes, you know, it works, sometimes it won't. But certainly on the first line, as you can see with the pacer, So far, so good. Right, I will carry on testing with other trains as well, and hopefully come back to you shortly. You will see there are 4 trains running. So there's the Class 800, the 37, and the Pacer on the left, and coming down the third line, there's the HST. So 4 trains running, and it's taken quite a while to get here, as I've said to you before. But gratefully, the track seems to be working quite well. I've not had many issues to sort out. Right, I'm going to leave the video there. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you again very, very soon here on Piccadilly. Take care of yourself, and bye for now.